Hi, I'm Kerry Hartwig with Sukup Manufacturing Company. Welcome back to our dryer educational video series. Today we're going to talk about updating software in a QuadraTouch Classic, or the original QuadraTouch dryer control system. So I've already got the software downloaded from the computer to my USB stick. Now we need to insert the USB stick into the touchscreen itself. To do that, we have to remove the two screws on the bottom, pivot it forward, and then inside there are two USB slots in the side of the touchscreen. It doesn't matter which one you put it in, either one will work. It's good to have a USB stick that's not very deep so that I can close the lid without resting it on the USB stick itself. The next thing that I need to do is I need to have a communication area between the touchscreen and the dryer itself. Probably the easiest way to do that is to walk out to the dryer and turn the main switch that says computer off and manual to off, which will shut off the PLC. Another way I can do that is by unplugging the Ethernet cable between the touchscreen and the PLC. And I'm going to have this PLC response timeout. First thing I'm going to do is push this black button on here. Okay, once I have a communication error between the touchscreen and PLC, I'm going to get a gray status bar across the bottom. And on the right-hand side, the button that's mostly black is the one I want to touch first. Now I want to choose CF/USB right here, and then USB starting. Okay, if it does start rebooting like this, this is a good sign. Remember, one of the files that we put on that USB stick was a boot file, and it's reading that boot file and rebooting this touchscreen from that file. Okay, once it's booted, we're going to probably be in Japanese. And unless you can read Japanese, we're going to want to pull the pull-down menu, select English, and then we want to push the right-hand button that says Download USB to Display. Now notice it selects the Mem file. That was one of the files we put on our USB stick when we loaded the software. So it selected the right one automatically, and I'm just going to push Start. And it says, are you sure you want to download the data? Yes. Okay, now it's going to take several minutes to download the data from the USB stick onto the touch panel, and the touch panels are a little bit fragile. You want to make sure that you don't lose power to the touch screen during this process, or it would probably have to be returned to Sukup to be reformatted. Okay, now we see that it is successfully completed, and it says to push the back button, which is here. And now we want to push back again, and then we can go to Exit. And it says, are you sure you want to restart the system? Yes. Now while that's rebooting, we want to turn on the PLC of the dryer or plug back in our Ethernet cable if we've unplugged it. We want to make sure we leave the USB stick installed in the touchscreen. And our second part of this is going to be upgrading the PLC. So we're going to have to select which fan it is. And now remember, on QuadraTouch Classic, when we have the dark red or maroon colored buttons, we have to press and hold them for a couple seconds. Now it's noticed that we do not have a matching program on the touchscreen and the PLC, and it's forcing us to upgrade the PLC. So we can read through this about the firmware, press Next. Now we have a 10-step process here. So the first one, it says press USB PLC. Next one is press FTP. Next one, it says press Yes. Next one is in the USB column, select the desired PLC program. So now we have to know that we have a one-fan dryer, and notice I have a one-fan 32210, which stands for version 3.22 single fan, and then the 0 stands for no incoming moisture sensor. If I had a one-fan dryer with an incoming moisture sensor, then I would want to select one-fan 32211, and then so on for 2, 3, and 4 fan. Now, if you were doing, you may have to, in some cases, press this down arrow to get to the 6th fan, and sometimes they get inverted, and the 1 fan ends up being here. So if you don't see the one you want, you may have to push the up and down arrows over here. So in this case, I'm doing a one-fan dryer with no incoming moisture sensor, so I'm going to select that one. Next step is to press DISP here. Next is all. And then copy. Not cut, copy. And then paste. And next one, it says press OK. So files are going to be overwritten. So now, while I see in progress, that means we are actually copying the files from the USB stick over to the PLC. And seeing connecting OK, I should have pointed that out up front, but connecting OK means we do have FTP communication between the touchscreen and the PLC. Okay, so we're done with that. Now step 10, it actually said the next thing you need to do is reboot the PLC. So now we need to go to the dryer, shut off that computer off manual switch, turn it to off. Another thing I can do, this is a simulator, but on the dryer itself you'll have the PLC. You can pull the black wiring arm off, that's the power one, and then just push it back on. That will reboot the PLC itself. You may have to cycle power on the touchscreen. A lot of times if you can get to where there's a reset button, you just want to push reset and then get new communication started between the touchscreen and the PLC. Again, the next step is going to be to double check which program we got on there. So we're going to go to Tools, System Tools, and System Information. And we want to make sure our PLC and our HMI software are the same. In this case, we installed version 3.2.2. That's the version we put on the USB stick. So we have successfully completed installing software. Remember, this video can be found at our website, www.sukup.com, or on our YouTube channel, Sukup MFG. Thank you for watching.